So I heard Honkai Star Rail released the Fate collab that was announced like a year ago in development for a really long time, and apparently a ton of people are really not happy with it. Glaive uploaded a video called As a Fate Fan, the HSR collab was a huge disappointment, and I kind of want to delve into this as somebody who's really not a Fate fan. I've never seen Fate, so I'm curious if it's something that maybe a non-Fate fan would maybe enjoy. Let's take a look.
There are a few things in the world of gacha games that generate as much excitement as a major full-scale collaboration with a beloved franchise, and by all accounts,
we're not talking about like Aloy engaging here, like a full-scale collab with like events and stuff as well, where the story of the anime is also involved with the story of the gacha. That sounds really awesome to me. I thought this collab sounded really cool.
The Honkai Star Rail crossover with Fate Stay Night should have been one of the biggest, the most celebrated events of the year. The initial announcement was met with a huge wave of excitement from both communities too, and for many—
Bro, I remember it. Even people that didn't play Honkai Star Rail, I saw on Twitter saying that they were going to give it a try because they watched Fate and stuff, and vice versa. People were saying that played Honkai Star Rail and never saw Fate that they'd watch it. I was one of them. I said if I enjoyed this collab, I might actually watch Fate, but now I don't know, man.
This was a dream crossover, but as the event went live and the dust settled, the community's reaction was intensely divided. For every person excited about the new characters, there seemed to be another who felt let down,
Interesting. It's funny how it's Pokemon Box, dude. Jesus.
Disappointed, and in some cases, genuinely disrespected. So was this collaboration a success, or was it the massive misfire that many fans are claiming it to be? Today, I'm going to walk you through my entire experience with this event to try and answer that question. We will start with my own expectations.
I hope there's like a lot of cutscenes and stuff, but we'll see.
Going into it as a longtime Fate fan, and then we will do a full spoiler-heavy recap of the story, just so we are all on the same page. And
that's okay. From what people have told me, it's not really worth my time playing it already. So, but I'm just curious if it's something I would have enjoyed.
After that, we will break down what went wrong with the narrative, look at the characters and the gameplay, and finally judge the event as a complete package. So let's get into it.
100%. I think one of the big things as well is what I kind of want to like dissect from this and take away from it is I'm pretty sure the free character that they gave, Archer was it, is actually like a really good unit. But to me, that's only one minor part of the whole collab that took a year to make, right? I would assume the biggest part was going to be the story stuff, but let's take a look and see.
Into the video. So before we get into the event itself, I think it is important you know where I was coming from. Now, to be honest, I was debating whether to even play or talk about this collaboration at all. I'm a huge fan of the Fate series. I watched all of it, but my past experiences with Honkai Star Rail story quests have been quite horrible, to say the least. My main issue for me has always been the dialogue bloat.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really do the Honkai Star Rail story quest, like the character story quest. I've obviously done, I did all of Belobog, I did all of the Lofu, I did all of Penacony eventually, and I've made it up to like, honestly, 3.2, I think it was, in Amphorius. I really enjoy a lot of it. It's just that for me, it really is just far too long for what is in it. I feel like it could be cut down by like half the duration and just add more cutscenes and more like impactful scenery and movements and stuff, because I just find myself getting a little bit bored a little bit too quick. And then I also have people telling me like, oh, you can just skip, and then I'm like, for me, bro, I'd rather just not play it if I'm just gonna skip and get to the good part. I could watch the cutscenes on YouTube if I really want to, like if I'm not gonna take in the story anyway because it's like 12 hours, 10 hours, 7 hours, then I just don't know if it's worth it. I'm still considering if I want to finish Amphorius, because the final stuff looks absolutely insane, bro. It really does. But I feel like this is also going to be very telling if it took a year to cook this and it's really not that good, on if I should really be excited for the future. I don't know.
Sheer amount of text that feels like it goes nowhere. I was fully prepared to just skip this story and focus on the characters, but then I saw that the quest was only about 4 hours long. It wasn't like their recent 10+
only about 4 hours is still kind of crazy, but it is short for HSR.
Hour Yap Fest, and I thought about it, you know, like 4 hours for an IP and a franchise that I genuinely love. The collab was hyped up for over a year. I mean, how could I say no to that? You know what I'm saying? It seemed like
it sounds like a dream come true.
Reasonable time investment. So I decided to play it, but I went in with my expectations for the story set very low. I was preparing for more static images, black screens with white text, and conversation that would make me sleepy. But at the same time, there was a part of me that
There's probably a hopeful part.
was hopeful.
Yeah.
We were told that the people from Fate themselves, the original creators, the writers, had looked over the story and given it their okay. So
What? No shot that it's bad then. There's absolutely no way. They wouldn't want their IP tarnishing in one of the most popular gacha games in the world, right?
I thought it has to be at least better than usual, right? I had low expectations, but a little bit of hope. So with that mindset, I dove in. And now, before I give you my critique, let's just go over what actually happens in the story. This will be a full recap, so fair warning for spoilers ahead. Alright, so the story of the...
I have no idea how they could incorporate this into the actual world, so I'm gonna assume it's some kind of either alternate reality or a story that they're reading, and like if the visuals are I don't know.
Event. Sweet Dreams and the Holy Grail kicks off with a pretty familiar premise.
Or a dream, I guess.
For Fate fans. A Holy Grail war is beginning in Penacony, right? The idea is that different participants, called Masters, will summon heroic spirits. In this case, from Penacony's own history, to fight for the Grail. We were introduced to a few of these pairs right away. We have a character named Scott with an assassin servant.
What is bro robbing?
Robin is paired with a caster, Boothill has Lancer, and Adventurine shows up as the master of Archer. Our character, the Trailblazer, gets involved and ends up summoning the main heroic spirit of the collaboration, Saber. When
of course
she appears, it's quickly established that she and Boothill's servant, Lancer, already know each other from the past war. This immediately suggests that this story takes place sometime after the events of the original Unlimited Blade Works. From there, the participants were pulled into a reality marble, which is just a magic created world by the assassin servant. This
is just a fake world then.
This world takes the form of an old black and white silent film, forcing everyone to communicate through subtitles while they...
Wait, no shot. Wait, what? Wait, wait. Am I getting this right? They got sucked into a silent... Does nobody speak here?
They face different challenges. A major turning point happens when Adventurine betrays his supposed ally, Scott. He reveals himself to be some kind of golden gatekeeper and starts
the cutscenes look pretty good.
Battle, which leads to our Trailblazer, Saber, and Archer teaming up against him. Now later in the story, Saber gets trapped in an illusion created by Robin's caster servant. In this dream, she gets to live out a normal life, ordinary life, free from her duties as a hero. The Trailblazer eventually helps Saber break free from this dream, and she accepts her destiny once again. The story ends with a big battle against a corrupted version of the Holy Grail, which Saber manages to destroy with her ultimate attack. In the aftermath, we find...
Okay, I gotta say, this so far, the story summary doesn't really sound that bad. To me, personally.
Find out that Lancer actually survived the whole war, which is a bit of a surprise, seeing how the Fate series usually go. But anyways, while the other servants return to where they came from, Lancer decides to stick around in Penacony. So that is the basic plot. A fairly standard Holy Grail war story with a few twists. On paper, it sounds fine. But the way...
Okay, I was gonna say, on paper that does sound fine.
This story was told, the execution is where everything falls apart. And that is what we need to talk about next. Alright.
I guess this is just typical with a lot of Hoyo stories at the minute, right? A lot of people really like the lore and the story, but they have a big problem with the storytelling and the execution. Let me see.
So we know the what. Let's talk about the how. Because this is where the experience moves beyond being a simple, flawed story and becomes, frankly, insulting to the source material. It begins with the basics. When your character gets their command spells, these powerful magical seals that appear on their hand, the game just flashes a logo on the screen. And that's it. There is no weight, no impact, a core concept of the series reduced to a UI element. But it gets worse.
Now, I was gonna say that's fine for me, like that does make sense. However, they did have a whole year to cook this up, right? So if it is such like an important part of the anime or the series in general, kind of reducing it to that in the game, I guess it would feel a bit shit for the Fate fans.
With the summoning ritual. In Fate, this is a sacred, tense, dramatic moment. It is the foundation of the entire franchise. In Honkai Star Rail, they turned it into a joke. They made the chant goofy. When the summon fails at first, they played this silly, cartoonish sound effects. It is as if the game is winking at you saying, "Oh, silly me, I failed the summon." Like what? It is a complete betrayal of the source material's tone. This continues.
I wonder if the writers that said that they approved all of this actually got to watch this and not just read the script stuff, because then again, even if the script's kind of goofy, it doesn't really add up too much. But Damn.
With Saber's famous introduction. The iconic line is there, but the scene itself is so soulless. It is a hollow reenactment that has none of the magic or the atmosphere of the original. It feels like going through the motions. And after playing for nearly an hour to get to this point, it is just embarrassing. And this soulless feeling infects the entire script. The dialogue is just
what did that
embarrassing.
Say?
And this soulless feel.
I'm gonna be real, HSR players should just play Fate Grand Order instead. There's no way storytelling did nasty writing dirty, bruh. People gotta understand the difference between supervising and writing the story. He only supervised the event story with the limited resources available to him and with, of course, Chinese laws limiting what he can actually do to characters. He could have made a more impactful story.
Feeling infects the entire script. The dialogue is just bloated. It is full of endless yapping that says almost nothing of substance. There is an early conversation that is so obviously trying to be the version of a tense, strategic discussion from Fate Zero. The original scene is a masterclass in tension. The version of this event is a boring, lifeless, bootleg imitation, a really cheap copy. The laziness becomes almost brazen. Now this is the point where
I can see that.
I personally lost it. There is a scene where the character Robin literally looks at her caster servant, who is literally a generic, low quality.
I didn't want to sound like rough or anything, bro, but I was going to say, is this meant to be one of the Fate the kind of Siobhan had better pulleys, bro.
NPC model and breaks the fourth wall to ask why she doesn't look more special. The game comments on its own lack of effort. And then I got reminded earlier. One of the characters said, the Holy Grail War will be about summoning legendary figures from Penacony's rich history and then bringing them to life. Which brings them an excuse to say that when casters NPC model looks so bad, like in here, they can say, oh well, those are heroes from Penacony, not the Unlimited Blade Works world. I am so sure they thought this true so they can put less effort in their story, which is, to be honest, unsurprising. It is the Hoyoverse way, the
I don't know about that one. That makes me feel funny, man.
cheapest way, am I right? It is shameless. But all of this, the goofy tone, the bloated dialogue, the lazy excuses, it all leads to the single biggest failure of the entire event. The ultimate insult. This collaboration is called,
like, the endgame, the boss fight, the reveal, what?
Honkai Star Rail x Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. The one thing every fan was waiting for, or at least the one thing I was waiting for, was the moment that would have redeemed almost any flaw, was a story cutscene of Archer performing his Unlimited Blade Works chant. And it's not in the story. It is in his gameplay, yes, but in the narrative, where it's supposed to be the climax, where it's the entire namesake of the collaboration.
The Unlimited Blade. There was no Unlimited Blade. Wait, why? What?
It's completely absent.
I don't even know about this. I don't even know what this means, but if you're calling the collab the Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works and you're not including the Unlimited Blade Works, what's the point of... Why not just call the collab Fate Stay Night?
A collaboration named for Unlimited Blade Works that has no Unlimited Blade Works in its story. What?
That confuses me. That probably got a lot of people's hopes up for nothing.
What? It is a hollow marketing exercise. Full stop. It's bad.
I'm curious what y'all think about this. Is this collab really that badly perceived, guys? I don't know. Tell me your thoughts about this collab in the comments and subscribe to the channel. We're nearing 362,000 subs.
So what you're left with is a narrative experience that doesn't just feel flawed. It feels deliberately cheap, lazy, and deeply disrespectful to the material it is supposed to be celebrating. And as we're about to see, this feeling of being shortchanged wasn't just confined to the story. Looking at the collaboration as a whole product, you start to see a pattern of low effort and questionable decisions across the board.
So let's eat first. Agreed. Wait, what's wrong with that? With quiet poise and grace, the two servants polished off the Holovian wind buggers on the side. Eat with white next black screen. Wait, they there's no food. Wait, they couldn't just do a little fucking animation cutscene for eating or something? Okay, I guess. This is nitpicking at this point, but I think it's rightfully nitpicking, to be honest. It's like, listen. Listen. Gacha tribalism is one thing, but I do think comparisons between very similar games is a fine thing to do. I think one thing Wuthering Waves does very, very well is they have a abundance of cutscenes, bro. They obviously, even in just these dialogue scenes, the characters are much more animated and expressionate. But bro, they do cutscenes all the goddamn time, even for silly stuff, it feels like. But it makes it feel so much better and more fun to play. Oh dear God. Thank you so much for treating us to the Holovian winged burgers. This just feels kind of awkward, bro. Camera angle hasn't changed in the slightest.
For an event that was hyped for over a year, the actual content felt remarkably thin. The maps and domains are recycled. We already talked about the reused NPC models.
Wait, she's in Britain? Britain?
Main event gameplay mode itself just felt like a slightly upgraded version of the simulated universe, a mode that has been in the game for forever. There was very little that felt new or special here, and this feeling of standard procedure.
Is it just a reskin sim uni? Is that all it was, or was it actually like decently different?
Extended to the rewards and the overall structure of the event. The rewards you get for completing everything, they're fine, but that is all they are. It is the same amounts of stellar jades, the same materials you get from any other large patch event. For a major once in a lifetime collaboration.
Hey, he looks fucking cool at least, right?
There was nothing special to mark the occasion. The structure was also anticlimactic. There was no unique.
Was all the effort put into the things that can make money? For example, the characters. Is that what happened?
Memorable final boss decided for the collab, and Lancer, one of the 3 main crossover characters, was relegated to just being a non-playable NPC. He doesn't get a boss fight. He is not playable. He just sorta hangs around. It is an incredibly unsatisfying fate for such a key character. And then I don't think we talked about this. The silent film section of the middle of the story, where all of the characters are muted.
That is crazy.
It is presented as a quirky stylistic choice, but it feels much more like a low-budget loophole to avoid having to do more animation and voice work. And finally, we have to come back to the broken promise.
How long did this section last? I'm curious. How long were characters straight up just muted for?
Of the voiceover feature. The developers advertised a specific elegant solution to the lack of English voices, the individual language switching feature, and it just didn't work as they said it would. Unfortunately, it is not a small bug. It is a failure to deliver on a key feature promoted directly to the community. And
was this a thing where they said if you play in English, the collab characters would still have voices in like GP or something?
Another breach of trust.
And it just
the developers lied again. So you have a thin event with recycled assets, standard rewards, anticlimactic character roles, and broken promises. It shows that the problems weren't just the scriptwriters. The lack of effort seems to have been project-wide. Looking at the personal experience, the failed narrative, and this
really sucks for the people that were super excited for it, bro. I'm a tourist when it comes to HSR. I'll keep it a buck. I literally only play for the story if I play for the story at that point, because like I say, right now I'm not even covering the story that much. If they release a banger animation, dude, a dope animation, it gets me super hyped. And I still think, I think the games at the minute, they're reaping in the incredible animations in the teasers and stuff that they drop. But the actual gameplay could go such a long way further, bro, if they just put a bit more into it.
Plus their event package, what is the final verdict? Let's be absolutely clear about one thing. The playable characters of Archer and Saber are genuinely great. Their kits are strong.
That's what I was thinking.
Gameplay animations are well made. And on a mechanical level, they are excellent additions to the game. This part, the part they sell you, they got right. But that one positive is buried under a mountain of negatives. A disrespectful story that butchers iconic moments. Lazy writing that feels like a first draft, cynical monetization schemes, broken technical promises, and a hollow, low-effort event structure that felt recycled from day one. And because of that, while the individual characters might be good, the collaboration as a whole experience is a failure. It's a failure because it treated a beloved, respected IP with a shocking lack of care. When you look at all of the evidence, it is hard to see this as a celebration of fate. It feels much more like a cynical, low-effort cash grab that used a famous name as bait. It is not a homage. It is an insult.
Gamage. Oh my god, the PTSD.
So I will leave you with this final question. What matters more to you in a collaboration like this? Is it getting good playable characters, or is it getting a respectful, well-made event experience that honors the source material? And
I'm gonna keep it a buck here, and this might be greedy, but I really don't think it is. I think both are just as important. I think if you announce a collab that you've started working on and it takes a whole year to work on and get delivered, even with the approval of the writers of the original anime and stuff, I think it's very important to get the perfect balance, or as close to a perfect balance as you can, to making strong characters, good characters, and also having a very strong story and a good polished story that people are going to enjoy. It's a collab. You have so long to work on it. There should be nothing stopping you at that point.
Where do you draw the line where one is sacrificed for the other? Let me know in the comments.
I think if you had to sacrifice one thing, it would probably be the characters. I think the story, as long as it remains permanently at that point, would be the biggest thing to focus on for me.
But that is all from me, Glaive Keo, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.
GG, Glaive. Jesus.
Go fuck yourself.
What the fuck, bro? All right, fair enough. Yeah, like I say, I'm a tourist to this game, bro. And I haven't seen Fate. I don't think I would have really enjoyed it too much anyway, to be honest. I would have enjoyed the cutscenes, and that's probably about it, just because I really enjoy the visual aesthetics of a lot of the insane Hoyle cutscenes. But again, let me know down in the comments what you thought of this collab. Was it as bad as people are saying it is, or was it not? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll catch y'all later.